On Sunday, an Israeli airstrike hit a residential building in Beirut's southern suburbs, a known Hezbollah stronghold. The target was Haytham Ali Tabatabai, identified by Israel as Hezbollah's de facto chief of staff. The strike has sparked fears of a wider regional conflict. We'll break down the latest developments and what it means for the region. Nearly a year after a tense ceasefire brought a pause to the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah, the Middle East is now closer than ever to a full-blown regional war. The strike occurred on Sunday when an Israeli munition hit a residential apartment building in Beirut's southern suburbs, the stronghold of the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah. The target was not a low-level fighter. Israeli forces confirmed they eliminated Haytham Ali Tabatabai, identified as Hezbollah's chief of staff and its de facto number 2 military commander. Who was this? Haytham Ali Tabatabai was born in 1968 in Beirut to an Iranian father and a Lebanese mother. He grew up in southern Lebanon and joined Hezbollah in the 1980s. He served as a senior figure in Hezbollah Unit 3800, involved in the group's activities in countries such as Syria, Yemen, and Iraq. He commanded the Radwan Force, Hezbollah's elite special forces unit. He led Hezbollah's operations in Syria and oversaw the deployment of fighters, equipment, and training operations. Ali was appointed as Hezbollah's chief of staff after the 2024 war with Israel, working to rebuild the group's military readiness. He was designated as a specially designated global terrorist by the U.S. Department of State in 2016, and a $5 million reward was offered for information about him. Sunday's Israeli airstrike in Beirut's southern suburbs killed him. He was killed because he was responsible for rearming and restoring the elite Radwan Force, and was involved in coordinating activities across the entire axis of resistance. The Prime Minister of Israel issued a statement regarding assassination of Haytham Ali Tabatabai.
Tabatabai is a mass murderer. His hands are stained with the blood of many Israelis and Americans. The IDF killed Hezbollah's chief of staff, Haytham Ali Tabatabai. Tabatabai was leading Hezbollah's efforts to rearm. Under my leadership, the State of Israel will not allow Hezbollah to rebuild its power, and we will not allow it to pose a threat to the State of Israel again. I expect the government of Lebanon to fulfill its commitment to disarm Hezbollah, because only in this way can a better future be made possible for every citizen in Lebanon, and only in this way can good and secure neighborly relations be established between Israel and Lebanon. Anyone who raises a hand against Israel will have his hand cut off, as echoed from Defense Minister Israel Katz's statement.
This assassination is the most significant blow to Hezbollah's military command since the ceasefire took hold in November 2024, and it was carried out in a civilian neighborhood, killing Tabatabai and at least 4 other Hezbollah members and injuring dozens of residents. For the people of Beirut, it signals a return to the dangers of full-scale conflict. This is not a sudden incident. It is the culmination of months of escalating tension and a collapsing ceasefire. Since the truce was established, Israel has conducted near-daily strikes in southern Lebanon, aiming to prevent Hezbollah from rebuilding its military infrastructure near the border. Israeli officials argue they are committed to the ceasefire but must act to neutralize Hezbollah's activities, which they claim are violations of the agreement. But for Lebanon and Hezbollah, the attack is viewed as a blatant violation of sovereignty. Hezbollah immediately warned that the assassination crosses a new red line, stating that its leadership is now considering a proportional and potentially devastating response. Lebanon's president condemned the act and urged the international community to step in. The entire diplomatic framework, which took months to build, is now under immediate threat of collapse. The strike occurred while a Hamas delegation was in Cairo, Egypt, engaged in sensitive talks with Egyptian and international mediators. The goal of those discussions was to solidify the ongoing Gaza ceasefire and push for its second phase. The assassination of such a senior Hezbollah commander, at a time of high-level diplomacy in Cairo, injects a dangerous element of risk. It suggests that Israel is willing to risk a full regional eruption to pursue its objectives against the Iranian-led axis of resistance. If Hezbollah does choose a forceful retaliation, the resulting escalation could effectively link the fronts in Gaza and Lebanon, turning two separate conflicts into one massive regional war. The international community fears this single action has the potential to unravel all existing fragile truce agreements. Hezbollah held a massive funeral procession for Haytham Ali Tabatabai. The group has vowed to consider its response to the assassination, with senior official Mahmoud Kamati saying Israel's strike crossed a red line. Tabatabai's killing marks a significant escalation in the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah, with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stating that Israel will not allow Hezbollah to rebuild its power. The Lebanese government has been under pressure from the US and Israel to disarm Hezbollah, but the group has strongly rejected the move. The funeral procession was attended by hundreds of supporters, who paid tribute to Tabatabai as a great leader and knight of the field. The situation remains tense, with fears of further escalation in the region.
If the clash between Israel and Hezbollah is renewed, it will have global consequences. Energy and inflation. A full-scale war could directly jeopardize the world's most vital energy transit points. This includes the Strait of Hormuz, through which a significant portion of the world's oil is shipped, and the Red Sea shipping lanes. Experts warn that any disruption or closure of these choke points would instantly send global oil prices surging to critical levels, potentially triggering a worldwide inflationary crisis and throwing major economies into recession. The axis of resistance. Hezbollah is the most powerful armed proxy of Iran. Israel's strategy of decapitation against Hezbollah's command structure is directly challenging Iran's regional dominance. An overwhelming Hezbollah response could easily draw Iran itself into a direct, open confrontation with Israel, a scenario that the US has worked for years to prevent. This would turn the conflict into a geopolitical nightmare. The refugee crisis. Lebanon is already under severe economic strain. A renewed war would trigger a massive new wave of refugees across the Middle East and toward Europe, adding to an already critical humanitarian burden.
The key question now is how Hezbollah will respond. Will they opt for a symbolic, limited strike to save face, or will they unleash the full force of their arsenal to regain deterrence? Israel has already raised the alert level on its northern border, preparing for every scenario. The next few hours and days are critical. We will continue to follow this developing story closely.
We are on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers here on First Stream News. Every single subscription helps us grow and deliver even more breaking news and deeper analysis to you. Please help us out by hitting that subscribe button.